1 Peter 5:8 says, "The devil is seeking whom he may devour." Join Don Allen as he looks to make you undevourable.
Thank you for giving me 7 minutes of your day to help make you undevourable. I'm your host, Don Allen. You know, there's an amazing story in Luke 5. Well, I mean, of course, the Bible's full of amazing stories, but I love this story in Luke 5. This is found in verses 17 through 26. And this is where we see those four crazy friends who brought their paralyzed friend to Jesus to be healed. And just for time's sake, I can't read the whole thing to you, but we know that they can't get in. We know the place is packed out. They tried the front door and nothing, no window to crawl through. I mean, they couldn't even bribe an usher to let us in. No room. Well, they weren't going to let a little something like that stop them because they knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the answer to their friend's disease was inside that room and we're going to get him in there. And you know, I kind of have to wonder at that point, how many modern day believers would have created some new doctrine here? You know, we find out that we can't get in and, well, I'm sorry, my friend, we can't get in. And so, you know, it just must not be God's will for you to be healed today. The place is packed out. We can't get in. You know, it's just not the good Lord's timing for you today. I guess God just doesn't want you healed or we'd be able to get in. You know, why are we always looking at natural hindrances like those are somehow the will of God? It wasn't true that Jesus did not want to heal this man, even though it seemed impossible to get in before him. And here's a spoiler alert for you. The man walked out of that meeting that day. A paralyzed man walked out of that meeting. So don't ever let natural hindrances determine what you believe to be the will of God. So we know the story. They have an idea. They go on the rooftop. They tear apart this roof and they make a hole big enough to drop a man on a couch down into before Jesus. And so they go up there and they rip it off of there. They drop him down there. And we see this forever famous line in verse 20. And when he saw their faith. Oh, and how we've preached and taught and ministered when he saw their faith. And we've pounded that faith message, and rightfully so. You know, see, what's provided by grace must be received by faith. That's truth. But God began to ask me, what else was in that room that day? I said, well, you know, we got a bunch of doubt and unbelief in the scribes and Pharisees and doctors of the law. And he said, no, what else? And I said, well, of course, Jesus was in there. And he said, no. See, God said this, don't pin all this on Jesus, because that's what man does today. We say, well, healing was for that day because Jesus was alive and walking the earth physically. He said, what else was present when this man was healed? Yes, faith. Yes, Jesus was there. But what else? All the way back at the beginning of the story, it says in verse 17, and the power of the Lord was present to heal them. And God said to me, there is an unbeatable team, an undefeated team, a team that is so powerful, there is not a sickness or a disease that can defeat it. And it is your faith and his healing power. See, we've talked a bunch about the one member of this team, faith, but there is another team member who is as equally involved in your freedom from sickness and disease, and it is God's healing power. And so God said to me, most people do not know about that team member the way that they should. We've done a good job in talking about faith, how it comes, what to do with it, how to use it and appropriate it. But what about this other team member? We see that these men had faith way before they ever looked down in a hole at Jesus, right? So if faith alone, if it was just faith, well, this friend would have been healed way back when they went to pick him up and carry him to the meeting. It was only when their faith came into contact with healing power, that's when freedom came. We have many today who have faith, but you know, you're kind of frustrated in that faith because, hey, I do believe, so where's my miracle? Why am I still suffering with physical issues? Because I believe Jesus took stripes, and by those stripes I am healed. And the issue is something simple. People do not recognize that healing power is available, where it's available. Really, it's this probably, how healing power is available. That to me is probably the biggest issue. People expect it to come a certain way, and when they don't immediately feel something or see it come the way that they think that it should, they incorrectly assume that nothing took place because they don't understand it. Some believe they got to have hands laid on them for it. Well, that is a method, but that's not the only method. And again, so when it doesn't happen, they feel like it didn't work. People do not know how it comes and then what to do with it once it's been administered to them. We have ministered on the faith side for years and years, and not wrongfully so, but what about healing power? Because if we really study this story, verse 17 of Luke 5 says, the power of the Lord was present to heal them, but only him got healed. That tells me that there were others in this room who could have benefited from healing power that was present, but nobody knew enough to recognize that it was currently available right in front of them. Faith and healing power work together to free this man of his disease. So again, why are we not talking about healing power? Because isn't it true at times you've stood there in need of a healing and you've thought, I do believe. I believe that by his stripes I'm healed. And yet even with that knowledge, you found yourself still suffering with something. Why? Because we do not have the proper knowledge to know when healing power is available, recognize it, know how it's available, what to do with it once it is available. It's a simple lack of knowledge. And you know what? A lack of knowledge really is a powerful thing. Hosea 4:6 says people have gone into captivity because of no knowledge. Well, we can certainly see that in people's lives who suffer with sickness and disease. But as Isaiah 5:13 goes on to say this, that people are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. Now, isn't that something? It didn't say people are gone into captivity because of sin and drinking and lusting. It said they're destroyed because of no knowledge. We have to have an equal understanding about this other team member, because I've seen person after person stand before me in prayer line. Some walk away healed, others walk away believing that they've not been healed. How is that? They all came forward with some form of faith, believing that if I lay hands on them, something's going to take place. So why some healed and why do some walk away upset, believing nothing took place? It's because we do not have an understanding about the healing power of God that was just administered to you, how it comes, what to do with it when it does. And because of this, many are captive, and some, they've been destroyed. But I say, you and I, no more. I refuse to be destroyed just because I don't know. Stick with me. We're going to take some time to talk about it, because when we gain an understanding of this healing power, you know what that's going to do. It's going to make you undevourable.
Thanks for listening. If you would like more information and resources on how to be undevourable, we invite you to check out our website. Go to www.TwoGuysAndABible.com. That's TWOGuysAndABible.com. You can also contact Don Allen directly for prayer. His email address is don@TwoGuysAndABible.com. Telephone is 573-216-1871.